All right, it seems we're having some issues with that video, but hello everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Ian Belina, and today we have Bill as well. Hope everybody's having a great week. As we like to say, never a dull day in crypto. So very intrigued to talk about what's happening in crypto, especially with crude oil and the markets. And we'll be taking questions from the audience through all different platforms: Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, also the forum as well at forum.tokenmetrics.com. If anybody is having any issues with the audio, please just post a comment and we'll take a look. All right, Mark is first. How are you, man? Great to have you here. Jada, hey fam, great to have you here as well. We built America, period. What's up? Great to have you here. Alice, always good to have you here as well. So Bill, how are you?
Ian, I'm doing okay. I'm making it. How are you?
Making it as well. Just here, quarantined, lockdown. So it looks like things have peaked in a way. Last time I checked on the news, they're saying the pandemic is speaking. So hopefully things get better.
Yes, we can all, we can all hope for, for everybody from the doctors and the nurses to, everybody who's caught home without a haircut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side, we do have some good news. It looks like the crypto market is getting more and more bullish as we approach the Bitcoin halving. And we also have Ethereum 2.0 coming out. So maybe this could be it. This has really been the moment crypto has been waiting for. It feels like this is the perfect storm. What's your take on this, Bill?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? So let's start with the fact that the traditional legacy security markets had to be nationalized because of this depression. That means the Fed is in total control of both bonds and stocks. So that's why you've seen all this crazy volatility in oil, because that's one of the only free markets left where you can express a view on what you think of the world, right? Which is why we have free markets to begin with.
Right.
Now, other than oil, crypto, maybe precious metals, but crypto is probably the best market, okay, to say, either the world is great or the world isn't, or we need a new financial system, or we're going to need a new financial system, right? So I've seen Ethereum, Raven Coin, things that are involved in securitizing assets start to move and take off. So you're right. It's now or never. Crypto is either going to take off and they're going to start pricing in crypto being the new financial system in a year, because the coronavirus is not going away, right? Just like the flu and the common cold. It's not going anywhere. So, we may need a new financial system, or we may need a backup financial system. So it's not anarchy, it's change. And, now is the time.
Now is the time. Truer words cannot be said. Okay, let's check in here with the audience. Hello, everybody. DD, all the way from the UK, I think. Great to have you here. Trinidad Link, great to have you here. Dutch Crypto Guy, great to have you here as well. I have fixed the mic. My mic volume should be better now. I've moved my mic closer. BTC trading. All right. So I think first thing first, let's take a look at what's happening with Bitcoin and crypto via crypto therapy. So for anybody who's a customer of Token Metrics, we put out a few emails in the last week or so. One was basically going through our take on what's happening right now and with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other altcoins in terms of what's trending as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving. We also put out several new tokens on on Token Metrics. One of them was CeeLo Gold, which is an upcoming CoinList auction sale. So if anybody has any interest in that, please go to the platform and check out the new rating on CeeLo Gold. We also have some others coming in the pipeline. We have Ava Labs, a project that's I would say pretty well known in the space, especially among institutional investors. We also have Paxo Gold on the platform added recently. We'll be adding Kyber Network. We'll be adding Helium Network, a full in-depth report. So definitely subscribe to Token Metrics or join the 14-day free trial if you haven't yet already. Okay, Bill, let's hop straight into crypto therapy. How do things look like with Bitcoin?
Okay, so let's talk about that. So here's a really interesting fact about Bitcoin. Okay, so right about here is where this square is where the big decline started in Bitcoin. And one of the things I think that is so interesting is that I call it Bitcoin is unchanged for quarantine, right? In other words, we kind of locked the whole world down in the middle of March. And what market out there can you say is effectively unchanged or unscathed? I mean, precious metals did well, but what else? Okay. So, you know, there's always risks in crypto. Like you said, there's never a dull moment. But this, to me, unchanged for quarantine, is meaningful. Now, let's go to Ethereum. Okay. Now, without going into a whole history lesson, there was a book called Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. And that was written about a famous trader named Jesse Livermore. And Peter Brandt on Twitter uses this a lot. It's a formation where a market will go from consolidation to trend. So normally there'll be this upward sloping area, like right here. Okay. We'll have this big, you know, sort of like a channel. And then if it breaks out, the move can be parabolic. Okay. So my work shows that in the first part of May, crypto's coming to its big inflection point, right? It's either going to be the new financial system or it's going to be this speculative thing that gets just destroyed. Okay. Now, the Bitcoin halving could help. Ethereum 2.0 could help. If I look at this chart, okay, I go, how does this happen? How does Ethereum get to 400? Well, I can provide you with the short version of the story, and here it is. We're going to go from, oh, gee, there's a virus, to, oh, gee, whose fault was the virus, right? Most of the disaster porn is about like how many people have passed away and how many new cases are there. Well, what happens when the blame game starts? Okay, well, I'm sure you'd be shocked to know I have an answer for that. The answer is that the United States is probably going to blame China, right? And they're going to do so in a way that creates geopolitical tensions that were way worse than the trade war. Okay, now I know that sounds crazy, but again, you know, at Christmas or at New Year's, if I had told you that on April 15th, we'd all be locked in our house, you would have said I was crazy. The next step in this is geopolitical tensions. And I think this means crypto has to become the world's new financial system, because between the virus and the blame game, there really is nowhere else to go. Okay, so other things that I'm going to be watching, okay, I'm going to be watching how Monero does at 65, because Monero has also almost unwound a lot of its virus decline. Okay, I'm also taking note that Raven, okay, which, you know, it's not the greatest coin in the world, okay, but it has sort of woken up and rallied versus Bitcoin. My understanding about Raven is that it's good for tokenizing things like real estate, okay? And I even see a little bit of a bid happening in the decentralized exchange ZRX, right? The world's got to find new ways to do things, okay? So for crypto therapy, here it is. First week in May, between now and May 10th. Crypto's either going to break out and it's going to be the greatest thing you've ever seen, and Ian's going to be wearing a party hat, or we're going to have to face the cold, hard facts that nobody cares about crypto. So, you know, obviously, we're not in favor of the second option, and I think there's a pretty good argument for the first option.
Well said. Well said, Bill. Now, so going to tokenmetrics.com, we also kind of have the same sentiment. So short-term ratings have been turning very, very bullish, uh, especially for TA ratings. Now, in terms of the top coins right now, Token Metrics likes Maker, Ethereum as the top two coins approaching the next 30 days. Bitcoin has dropped out. It's now number 12 on the Tokemetrics rank for short-term trading, while the TA is still very, very bullish. So, I mean, then if we go to the price prediction models for Bitcoin, they've also been pretty bullish. So let me just,
Right. And check the price prediction for
yeah.
Ether.
So price prediction for Bitcoin. So it's predicting Bitcoin could go as high as $10,000 by May 24th. So obviously this is just a prediction, not financial advice, but just kind of as a perspective, because the Bitcoin halving is happening on May 12th, approximately. If I can pull this up here, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, I think it's May 12th, give or take. Yeah, May 12th in 15 days. So if we go all the way to May 15th, our price prediction models predict Bitcoin will be at 9,400. Now, on the low end, it could go as low as 8,800. On the super low end, it can go as low as 6,300. Now, on the high end, it can go as high as 10,000. And on the super high end, as high as $10,600. But the actual prediction itself is 9,400, which would be obviously higher than where Bitcoin is now today at 7,600. Now, if we go further out, it has Bitcoin going even higher all the way to May 23rd to $10,000. So all in all, the price prediction models are bullish on Bitcoin. The TA models are very bullish on Bitcoin. Now, if we go to Ethereum as well, let me pull up the price predictions for Ethereum. Ethereum is very, very bullish when it comes to a technical analysis perspective based on our models. And the price prediction models are also very, very bullish. So going up to May 12th, which is a Bitcoin halving, is predicting Ethereum is going to be around $233. Ethereum right now is at 190. So basically about $30 gain or so. And then if we go all the way out to till May 23rd, it has Ethereum going as high as 276. Obviously, these are just predictions, not investment advice. But all in all, I think net, it's a positive trend. Both Ethereum and Bitcoin are bullish as we approach the halving and as we enter May, especially in this economic climate. Anything to add to that, Bill?
Yes. Believe it or not, and I don't want people to go crazy, but this kind of reminds me of 2017 all over again, right? In other words, the only people who are talking about crypto are the people who are in crypto kind of for a living, right? Because there's other news out there. But crypto in 2017 started sneaking up on people and rallying in the summer, right? May, June, July, and then the next thing you know, by the fall, it was just gone on the upside.
Right,
And,
right.
Try to imagine a presidential debate, right? You don't have to like or not like Donald Trump, but he's the guy in charge when this happened. So if he starts to deflect the blame somewhere else, it's going to make crypto the world's new financial system. People are going to be like, where am I going to go to be free? Everyone says, oh, crypto is so risky. Okay, well, that was before a pandemic and geopolitical events, right? So now the question is, what am I going to invest in? How do I protect my wealth? How do I protect my purchasing power? So your computer models, as well as my charts, are picking up on this sentiment. And honestly, I think it's 2017 all over again, except it's not a wild party. it's better. Okay. It's the realization that, you know, crypto was set up for this moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let's take some questions from the audience. Also, let us know what you think. Are you bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum and crypto as we approach May 12th, the Bitcoin halving, or are you bearish? Okay, so looking at here from the comments. Hello, Red for Danger, welcome. Where are we from? We're from America. I'm based in DC. Bill is based in Texas, in Austin, Houston, Texas. Okay, Michael says, but Bitcoin will fall with the miners adjusting or shutting down to halvings, so he's bearish. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely an unknown in terms of what's going to happen with the halving in terms of miners. But I think all in all, we're pretty optimistic that everything is going to sort itself out. Okay. Damien says, no way is crypto becoming the new financial system in the near future, maybe in another 10 years. All right. He has a strong opinion of that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I think we're good with that. Let me just see if anything else. Please, I want to know what the halving is all about. Okay, so let me just try to see if we can explain exactly what's going on here. Let me share my screen. Just give me 1 minute here. Okay. All right, so everybody should be able to see my screen. So when we talk about the Bitcoin halving, this is what we're talking about. So the Bitcoin block reward is going to cut in half, meaning that currently for every block mined, the reward is 12.5 coins per block. Now this is going to decrease to 6.25 coins per block. So in other words, Bitcoin is getting more scarce. So supply and demand from economics class tells us that if that's the case, if demand increases and supply decreases, the price should go up in theory. So that's why people are very, very bullish on the Bitcoin halving being great for Bitcoin and crypto all in all. Then on a live stream, I think 2 weeks back, we did cover, historically speaking, Bitcoin has performed well post halving. There have been 2 other halvings before, one in 2016 and one in 2012, and those did fairly well. Now, on the last video where we kind of dived into this, look, if the trend and the growth of the graph continues the way it's going, we anticipate Bitcoin could reach $50,000 per 1 Bitcoin in 2 years. So basically in 2020, if everything continues the way it was going based on that graph, we anticipate Bitcoin increasing to that point. Now, obviously, we're all pro crypto and pro Bitcoin, so we hope it goes up faster than that. But at a very conservative level, that's kind of where we are. Now, going to the price predictions. So we talked about Ethereum, but let me go to BTC to kind of show people how bullish we are. So all in all, we all know technology and fundamentals for Bitcoin are good. The TA is also very good. This is for short term. This is 30 days or less. So going here to the TA, very, very bullish in terms of where BTC is going. And then adding on the price predictions. So think of this as a checklist. So the first checklist is technical analysis, very bullish. Check. The next checklist, the price prediction models, as we see here, are very, very bullish. Check. So I think kind of having those 2 in alignment as we're approaching the halving is very, very good for BTC and the crypto space. And then the same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum is also very, very bullish from a price prediction model and also very, very bullish from a TA standpoint. So, I mean, obviously nothing is perfect, but looking at the probabilities, we're very, very optimistic as we approach the Bitcoin halving. Okay, all right. So me stop sharing here. So if you have any questions you would like to ask, we'll be taking questions from the comments and also questions from the forum. Now, we also wanted to talk about volatility. So Bill, earlier offline, we were talking about crude oil and volatility, and you said you had a new theory.
Yes. Okay. So for the hedge funds of the world, right? What are they going to speculate in? So that's an overarching question. Now, historically, in bonds around 2011, 2012, 2013, and in the Japanese stock market after their huge bust in the 90s, both of those markets were characterized by really low volatility, meaning stocks and bonds, now that the Fed is just like all in, they're just not going to move much. They're not. So if you want to do trading and investing, what are your choices? Well, you could do oil. Is everyone going to trade oil? Are you going to pay for anything in oil? No.
Not really.
So no. So oil is one mechanism, and crypto, in other words, I know this is going to sound shocking, but all the world's financial volatility, all the views and ways of expressing things is headed towards crypto. So if you thought crypto was volatile before, forget about it. It's going to get even more volatile, up and down, because the whole world is coming. Like, you can use Google to do the math that if everyone in the United States who had more than $1 million buys 5 Bitcoin, how much demand is there? There's more millionaires in the United States than there are Bitcoins available. So if everyone says, I got to have a Bitcoin, right? If everyone who invests on the institutional side goes, okay, well, where's the volatility? FANG stocks aren't going up every day. NASDAQ is like unchanged or up for the year. Okay, great. So does that make everyone want to go buy them? No. Where's the upside? Would you rather buy a stock that is hampered by a huge recession or a depression, or would you rather buy Ethereum at 200 knowing that the all-time high was 1100? So volatility is coming. And yes, I know this is a slightly shameless Token Metrics commercial, but one of the things I was thinking about is, based on history, people are going to need what I would call volatility management systems, right? As volatility increases, you need to be able to make faster decisions, okay? And you need to make decisions more frequently about getting in and out. I mean, if we did this show next week and Bitcoin was at 12,000, we might get questions like, should we get out? Or should we get in? So, we would appreciate it if you would use our system, but you're definitely going to need a system.
Absolutely. I mean, having research is crucial. I mean, because anybody who's seen Wall Street, they spend billions, if not trillions of dollars into research, and because they're always looking for that edge. Now, obviously, Token Metrics skews more towards retail investors and traders, but even in crypto, you have to have the best research out there if you want to be the best investor or trader. And that's why we've built Token Metrics, and we're very, very glad with the customers we have already. We actually have somebody who did a very thorough testimonial in terms of how they're using Token Metrics. So I may actually end up reading that on the end of the show. All right. Okay, so we do have a super chat. All right, super chat from Offshore Crypto. So the question is, funfair for online gambling because of COVID. Okay, so Funfair is a online gambling and gaming project. So they had an ICO back in 2017. Actually, I did invest in it. It was basically an online casino. Now we've not looked back into it since the 2017 really. So I'm curious to see what kind of progress they have made. So let's quickly do a review on it real quick. Since Offshore Crypto was able to post a tip for us. All right, just give me 1 second here to pull up my screen. Okay, so blockchain solutions for gaming, market leading enterprise and white label casinos powered by high performance blockchain technology. So I know a while back in 2017, this was back then an all-star project. Now our rating system has evolved nowadays, and it's definitely a lot tougher. So I'm not so sure it would get the best rating. But if we take a look and go to, because we don't have this on Token Metrics, but if we just check out in CoinMarketCap, let's see what they have on this project. So the token name is fun. The volume is not too bad. Obviously, it could be better. 400,000 daily trading volume. Looking at this, it is on Binance and OKX, so they are on the major exchanges, Bitfinex as well, but no volume. I mean, I would say for now, probably not going to be the best project, just doing at a high level, because I have looked at this project before, unless they've changed things drastically, or maybe have done something I'm not aware of. Just going based on what they've done in the past. It is in the top 200 market cap. And I know they did have a pretty good team. Their founder was, I believe, one of the founders of Atari. So, I mean, he definitely does have a good background of execution. Now, I think just because mainly it's an app, it's a D app, and D apps haven't historically performed well, because right now we're still in the FAT protocol time period of investing in crypto, where typically blockchain protocols or infrastructure protocols are the ones that are performing fairly well. Now, that's not to say this project won't do well, but I mean, gaming and blockchain and gambling has been pretty tough to crack. Nobody has cracked it yet, to my knowledge, at least on a large scale. But I mean, they definitely do have a good team that could possibly achieve this. Okay, all right. So thank you for that tip, offshore crypto. We appreciate it. Okay, so I see people are talking about Kyber. Now we did, so people are saying Kyber is up 40%. Let me see if I can pull up Kyber on Token Metrics. So we did add Kyber on Token Metrics. And I mean, Kyber is very, very good. Now we did already notify our customers, and our team will be putting together an in-depth report on Kyber. We don't really have anything in terms of a tech review yet, but that is coming. The fundamental review was done, and Kyber, I mean, it's very good. That's all we can say, because it will be unfair to really delve deeper into it. But fundamentals wise, very, very good. Technology wise, that's coming. Just make sure you have your email notifications on. So just make sure any emails from us are not going to spam, because we'll be sending a full in-depth fundamental report and technology report to customers on Kyber. Now, Bill, could you pull up Kyber on your end and do some TA?
I can.
It's up over 30%. Now, that's not to say that's because we had a good review on it, but definitely anybody who did get our report probably had a chance to get in early before it went up.
Okay, so I think this is pretty simple. So what we have here is a structure where you have an initial trend up. So that's the first wave. The second wave is the correction. The big party wave is the third wave. I'm sorry, it's down here. I made that mistake. So what you have is you have a 5-part rally. So you have a first move, a second move, a big trend up, a final dip, and then all the not so smart people get involved up here. And then it corrects. Now, where did the correction stop? At exactly the halfway point, the 50% retracement of the rally up. So I think what we're looking at is a possible parabolic move up in whatever this is, because it hit the 50% retracement and went straight up. So I think you're definitely looking at a new high. Okay, you're definitely looking at going above this. Okay, and I'm not sure where else it could go. Okay, but it could definitely make a new high.
So to add on to that, Kyber has been one of the best performing projects this year in 2020. So if we pull up the performance metrics, let me just take a look here real quick. Yeah, so here, let me share my screen. So one of the cool things about Token Metrics, we give you performance metrics on all cryptocurrencies in our system. So here we're comparing Kyber to Bitcoin. So Kyber, just looking at since 2018, it hasn't fared well during the crypto bear market. But if we go to month to date, Kyber is up almost 50% versus Bitcoin's 18%. And in the last 3 months, Kyber is up 148%, while Bitcoin is down almost 10%. And in the last 6 months, Kyber is up 300% versus Bitcoin's 3%. So I mean that's huge. That's very huge. I mean, so we're very optimistic on Kyber. It's been faring well. It's really anybody who's had Kyber in their portfolio, congratulations. Your portfolio is up a lot. 3x on your money in 6 months is not too shabby, especially in crypto, especially if you factor in the pandemic we were in. That's very fantastic. So stay tuned. We'll have more insights on Kyber. We'll have our full in-depth report and code review and technology report as well. That's only to customers. So make sure you're subscribed to Token Metrics to have all this intel. But this is really the power of research, being able to find good projects very early on. Anybody holding Kyber or anybody else has any other comments or opinions on Kyber, feel free to share them in the chat below. All right, so let's see what other people have to say here. People saying, what coins are you most bullish on? Matic, Kava. Somebody's saying Bancor is down. Now, in terms of why Kyber is up, not really sure why it's up. Would have to check their website or Twitter and see if there's any fundamental change or news. But Kyber has been growing. It's had steady growth. So that could possibly be a factor as well. Or maybe people are just discovering how well it's been performing this year. Okay, so let's take some questions here from the forum. If we go to forum.tokenmetrics.com, if you haven't yet joined already, be sure to join. It's a very active forum. We have almost 400 people have already joined in less than 1 month. Let me pull this up here and take some questions. Okay, so some of the questions we may have already answered. Okay, so I know, Bill, you did cover crude oil before, but somebody here has a question saying falling crude oil is positive or negative for Bitcoin. Do you kind of want to chime in terms of
Sure.
how that's going to affect crypto?
Yes. Okay, so there's 2 schools of thought on this, right? That, you know, there's only 2 ways to express your view on the world now. Oil and crypto and gold, but we're going to leave gold out. So view number 1 is that institutional investors would rather hold oil at liquidation prices than buy crypto. So on one hand, the drop in oil is potentially negative for crypto because institutional investors are more interested in super cheap oil. The other argument is that oil reflects an extended, protracted contraction in the economy, the global economy. Okay, so it's factoring in both pandemic and, don't laugh, war. Okay, or let's call it the blame game. So with crude oil sending that message, it's time for crypto, right? At the retail and the institutional level. So the answer to the person's question is, I understand the bearish argument, but I think it's bullish for crypto.
I agree as well. I mean, but I think you definitely really told the best way to, I mean, I would add to this. I would say all of us here are in crypto for a reason. So we definitely do have a bias where we think everything is good for crypto. But I mean, 2020 is really the perfect year and the perfect storm, as I mentioned before, for crypto. And if crypto does not perform well with all of this happening, I mean, why we here? So all in all, I think 2020 is going to be a great year for crypto. Okay, all right. Apologies, I'm pulling up something here. So somebody is asking about Hex. So let me share my screen here. Let's take a look at it. So Hex has done a 50x. So we all know this is Richard Hart's coin or project, Hex. Now, we've not been bullish on it. However, we took a totally different stance than everybody else. The whole entire crypto community was calling this project a scam. Now, with us, we do actual investment research, and we don't really cop out and use lazy labels. We do actual research. So as opposed to saying something is a scam, we'll just say this is not a good investment or project. Now, as you can see, we're not bullish on the fundamentals, the technology. TA is decent for anybody looking to do maybe a quick trade. But I mean, from a tech standpoint and fundamental standpoint, we're not bullish. However, what we did say after doing our research on Hex was, if you have any Bitcoin, if you have any BTC, this was free money, because anybody who had Bitcoin could go onto the Hex blockchain and basically claim your Hex. So I mean, so this is the part where it pays to be contrarian, because free money is free money. Whether you think it's a scam or not, that free money turned to a 50x based on what people are saying. Now that is very low volume. So if we go here to the performance metrics, okay, so we don't have any performance metrics on that yet. Let me see if we have any price predictions on this. The price prediction models actually have it crashing. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I mean, I would say it's still a very risky investment and trade to be in. So, I mean, the only time we really had anything positive to say about Hex, even though I am friends with the founder, was if you have Bitcoin, it made sense to claim the free Bitcoin. It was basically like an airdrop. And I mean, last time I checked, airdrops were not a bad thing. Now looking here, it says the ROI has been 21x. Now I think that those people saying it's up 50x are saying, I think the price crashed and there might have been an opportunity to buy it even lower. Now we're not saying go out there and buy Hex. No, I mean, we definitely don't think it's a good long-term hold. But if you had a Bitcoin stash and you had the opportunity to claim free Hex coins, it definitely does make sense. And I think that's really where it pays to not listen to crypto Twitter, because everybody was just blindly labeling something a scam. But I mean, if somebody gives you free money, how's that a scam? Now, if you end up spending your own money to buy Hex, that would definitely, we would not recommend or advise. We're definitely not in the business of giving investment advice. However, we would say protect your money. Don't take that out. Don't lose your money. But if you have Bitcoin, getting free money, because people did the same thing with Bitcoin Cash. I was not personally bullish on Bitcoin Cash, but I did have Bitcoin. And when Binance gave me an equal amount of Bitcoin I had in Bitcoin Cash, I just immediately sold that, never looked back. So my experiences with Bitcoin Cash have been positive. And I think we kind of have to have that perspective, because at the end of the day, we're here to make money. What's your take on Hex, Bill?
Well, in crypto, there's always a story, right? And this is a reminder of something that was made famous in equities a long time ago, that it isn't necessarily about the fundamentals and it isn't necessarily about the technicals sometimes. Sometimes it's just about the story behind whatever it is. So if you pop the hood on this, it's no good, but the power of the story propelled it higher. And if it can happen to Hex frankly, it can happen to the entire crypto market.
Well said, well said. Okay, so super chat again from Lena Spiro. Okay, so what do you know and think about Cloak? So Cloak was also a 2017 ICO. They were actually winners of our Crypto World Tour pitch event in London. If that's the same company you're talking about, let me just pull it up and see. Do you mean Cloak Coin or Cloak? Let me just, because it seems there are several cloaks here. Okay, let me just share my screen again. So Lena, can you maybe chime in with which one specifically you're talking about? I'm guessing you're talking about this. Cloak Coin. Okay, so this is not the one we're talking about. This one definitely seems to be a lower cap coin. Volume is only 23,000, very, very low. And it's not trading on any big exchanges, Stacks and Livecoin. So just the fact that it's basically illiquid, we would avoid this. Obviously, because we typically invest or trade with more money. But just even the credibility and reputation of these exchanges is not the best. So we typically like to avoid projects, especially those that are trading on bad exchanges, I would say. Now, yeah, she's saying Cloak Coin. Yeah, so now, despite that, let's just quickly take a look at their website here and see what they're about. I'm seeing Cloak Enigma Challenge. In partnership with My Container. Okay, Cloak provides a more secure and private world of currency transactions. Okay, seems like a privacy coin. Experience almost instant transactions, untraceable to you, earn rewards, community focused. Okay, so end-to-end secure communication out of the box. Okay, maybe if we can just go to the white paper. Is there a white paper? Okay, no white paper. Let's go back here. Is there a white paper here? Technical documentation. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to white paper in English. Okay, Cloak Coin is a cryptocurrency designed to facilitate private, secure, and untraceable decentralized transfers with Enigma. So I'm assuming they mean Enigma protocol, which has private smart contracts. Okay, Cloak is a dual proof of work, proof of stake coin, which is now in the proof of stake interest bearing stage. Private, secure, and traceable payment system that forms. Okay, so it's a payment system built on Enigma. That's interesting. Because I know Enigma, they used to be Ethereum based. Now, then they switched over to Cosmos and are building on Cosmos chain, which is Tendermint, I believe. Okay, so Enigma is at heart a decentralized off-blockchain mixing service, which allows users on the. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is the same Enigma they're talking about. Seems like they have their own different Enigma. Okay, Enigma is different. Okay, so anyways, it seems like it's a private coin, privacy coin. Just based off of this, I don't really think this would be the best privacy coin out there. Our team is more bullish on other privacy coins like Zcash, Monero, Dash. Those have higher ratings. I definitely recommend you go to our website and check out the ratings on those projects. We think those are the better privacy coins to be in. But thank you for that. Okay, Alice is saying, last time Bill talked about Icon, it raised up 300%. What's Bill's take on Icon? Okay, let's have Bill take some time to pull that up. Okay, as Bill pulls that up, Mr. Grant says, how do you claim it? I'm not sure it's still possible to claim Hex. I think the deadline might have passed. Vania Lopez, Ian, how are you? Are you planning to come to the Netherlands soon? Definitely not right now. So not anytime soon, but I have been cooped up here in my house for months now, even prior to the whole pandemic. So I definitely do plan to travel somewhere, maybe take a short vacation for a week or two somewhere, because being in the same place for too long does definitely get not quite insane, but it's definitely stressful in a way. In a way, so definitely do plan to just go somewhere and just relax and unwind. All right, let me know when you're good to go, Bill. Okay, we can't hear you, Bill. You're on mute.
All right, so looking at Icon, okay, this is like a 12-hour chart. So here's how I see this. It went up and everyone got excited. And then when it went down, the consolidation as marked by this, gray area was kind of so awful that it may have discouraged people. Okay. And I would bet that when you have like a discouragement in a box, it eventually starts to break out again. Okay. So I don't know if it's going to go up another 300%, but I do think this could possibly challenge its high. Right. Because it's built a base in that triangular area. And, you have to be careful. This is not investment advice, but there is a saying in technical analysis that the bigger the base, the higher into space.
I like that one. I like that one.
Yes, it translates very well into crypto. I think, if you look at Ethereum on a long-term chart, I think Ethereum's done nothing but build a whole base for 2 years. And this looks like a miniature version looking at a 12-hour chart. So that's how I would kind of look at Icon. It's either stuck in the range, or I actually think the whole crypto market is moving to where Bitcoin and Ethereum is investment and alts are speculative. Just in the same way in stocks, the S&P was investment and tech stocks were speculative. So if we're redoing how we trade, believe it or not, altcoins could come back as just a way people speculate because there's nowhere else to speculate.
Well said, well said. So taking a look at Icon on Token Metrics, looking at the short-term trading scores, so 30 days or less. So rating is pretty good for Icon right now. Now this is primarily based on their TS score. So technical analysis is definitely turning bullish short-term. As we can see here, it's been trending up. Now, so that's the first checkbox. The next checkbox we take a look at is the price prediction model. So right now, it's at about 21 cents as a predicted price, while it's actually at 29 cents. It does have the predicted price is going to go up, but not too drastic. So I think overall we can say it's pretty neutral, because right now it has a predicted price 22 cents, and a month later, going all the way to May 23rd, it's about 25 cents. So obviously it's trending up, but very, very slowly, which kind of I think goes in line with what Bill was saying from his end. So definitely not bearish on Icon, but I would say from a prediction standpoint, it would be best if the predictions were in alignment with the TA. But good question, Alice. Good question. Okay, let's see what else people like to say. If you like this live stream, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving. And be sure to subscribe to tokenmetrics.com if you haven't yet already. Our growth has been increasing. I see Jesse says the website looks high quality. Thank you. We appreciate that. Okay. Mr. Grant, we already did TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum in the beginning of the live stream. So definitely suggest you go back and rewind to watch that. Okay, so let's take some other questions here from the Token Metrics forum. Okay, just give me 1 second here. Okay, if you haven't yet already, go to forum.tokenmetrics.com to engage with the community. Okay, so here's a question from Harvey Williams. So the question is a total market cap for cryptocurrencies, hold on, let me just rephrase this. Is a $5 trillion market cap for cryptocurrencies possible? I mean, obviously we're all bullish on crypto, so definitely think 5 trillion is possible, not just from our perspective, but if we go and look at other independent third parties. So the World Economic Forum has made a prediction that they anticipate the total crypto market cap or the market cap for tokenized assets, essentially cryptocurrencies, will approach $10 trillion by the year 2027. So the way we get that number is, the prediction is they think 10% of the world's GDP will be in tokenized assets. So if we even just look at today's GDP, that would mean about $8 to $10 trillion would be in crypto. So, and then also looking at other predictions from the Royal Bank of Canada, for example, they also have about the same range, about 8 to 10 trillion. I think theirs was about 9 trillion. So two independent companies, well known in the space, who aren't really pro crypto, but by the way, right? So they aren't really crypto shills by any means. They predict and project the crypto market cap to approach about $10 trillion. So I definitely do think $5 trillion is possible. Anything to add to that, Bill? Okay.
When you look at the Federal Reserve response to this crisis, they basically printed as much as they did during the 10 years after the 2008 crisis, right? Like global central banks pressed a button and $5 trillion got printed. They did $1 trillion in fiscal stimulus, and they're probably going to do more. So my comment is, what's 5 trillion between friends? Is 5 trillion really a lot of money? If we can push a button and do 5 trillion overnight, crypto could get or start to move in that direction. You know, I don't know if it's 5 trillion right away, but we're going to need to build a new financial system. So it's not how much is Bitcoin worth, it's how much is a new financial system worth, and 5 trillion is a number that works for me.
Makes sense, makes sense. Okay, so super chat from, let me just get the name right here. Games 103, thank you, we appreciate it. So he's asking, what about Pundi X and NEM? Okay, could you pull that up, Bill, if you can? So Pundi X, their symbol is NPXS.
Okay, looking at it now.
All right. Let me pull it up on my end as well. So I did also reach out to Zach, the founder of PendyX, to do a 100X show interview to kind of update the community. So that he said he's open to doing that once they have some major updates coming through. So stay tuned for that. I don't really have a set date yet. Just know there's probably going to be some time this year whenever they're making some big updates.
Okay, so I got a graph of Pundi X. Oops. Okay, so I got a graph of Pundi X versus Ethereum. Okay, that's really
Alright.
all I could find quickly. Okay, so obviously you might think to yourself, wow, this looks terrible. Okay, but the truth of the matter is, this here looks like a selling climax. So if there's anything you like about Pundi X and you want to take like a speculative punt, you could probably do it now. Okay, if that's versus Ethereum. Now this is NEM versus Bitcoin. And again, you know, you've got these kind of like consolidation patterns that some of these coins have been in. And right now, this is at the bottom of the consolidation period, right here. So, I mean, buy low, sell high. Right? I mean, it's, you know, it's about the story in crypto. So if this has a story behind it, then it's in the right position technically to get involved. In other words, you know, there was a time where I was like, oh my God, don't speculate. Okay. And now I'm like, why not?
Why not?
I mean, it's like play Xbox, do gardening, speculate in crypto. Speculating crypto sounds more fun to me. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but crypto and altcoins may become the new video game, especially since people have to figure out how to make money.
Yeah, very true, very true. So
I mean, this won't be the first time people have turned to speculative financial markets to try to make money.
all right, so if we pull up Pundi X on Token Metrics, it's basically the same thing. Right now, overall grade short term, so 30 days or less, is just okay. Fundamentals are all right. Technology could definitely be better. Technical analysis is actually good, but all in all, definitely could be better. I'm going to price predictions. Yeah, the price predictions for this haven't really been that great. Yeah, coronavirus definitely. Over here, the models kind of went on the fritz, so they haven't really caught up to this. Now, if we go to NEM, same thing, just okay. Fundamentals are good just by it being a very early project, so it's very liquid, well known in the space. The technology could be better. Technical analysis is actually very bullish. Short term. Now, sorry, if we go to price prediction, so the price prediction models are actually bullish on this. Very interesting. So right now, the actual price is 39 cents. Our prediction price is kind of behind that at 31 cents. And it's predicting it can go up as high as 60 cents. So not quite sure. Obviously, this is not financial advice. Take with a grain of salt. Actually, take with a huge pile of salt. Don't go out there and just blindly invest based off of this. So the approach we like to take is to have a checklist. So the price prediction would just be one of those checklists. So this plus the TA plus the overall rating grade. So going to this, the model is actually very bullish on this. Not quite sure why. I know, Bill, you mentioned that it was very speculative, played kind of a punt.
Well, I mean, when I looked at it, right? I mean, we're talking about
NEM, NEM.
right. We're talking about NEM. So, you know, NEM trended up and then it consolidated, right? And I think what our machine model is picking up on is that the fact that it went up and it consolidated, right? Because normally when crypto is bearish, it'll spike up and then it'll just crash, right? But what this thing did was it went up and then it did this kind of sideways slump. So I think it's worth it, especially, I didn't look at our models beforehand. If our models are telling you that the uptrend can resume, that's essentially what I was saying. If you like this, take a shot because the uptrend could resume.
All right. Basically a bounce back to life.
Right. For the whole space.
All right. All right. Let's check out the comments. How do you stake ETH? Any step-by-step directions? So Ethereum 2.0 has not officially launched yet, but I'm sure their instructions will be available on their website, or just follow the Ethereum website and social media channels and Twitter, or just Google it. I know there will be a minimum staking requirement. I forget what the amount was. I think it was 30 something Ether minimum to stake. So you may have to, if you don't have that amount, you may have to join a ETH staking pool. How's it going, guys? It's going great. Budget, yeah, 32 ETH is the amount. All right. So thank you, everybody. Definitely make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends as we approach the Bitcoin halving. So let's go back to the forum. So next question from the forum. This is from Kim. Okay, so her question is, we all know the money printing that's happening right now is going to have a massive effect on the economy, but I hear differing views as to whether it will cause inflation, hyperinflation, or deflation. Does anyone have a strong opinion on the matter with tangible reasons as to why? All right, so basically you're asking deflation or hyperinflation. Now, you didn't really specify which currency or which part of the world, but I'm assuming you mean America, since that's the world's reserve currency. But maybe we can also kind of talk about different currencies and how they'll be affected by the pandemic. Do you want to chime in, Bill?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, this one's for me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have something called the consumer price index, okay, without boring you with the details, like you could go to the Bureau of Economic Statistics, and what are they going to measure? They're going to measure things like rent, food, medical care, etc. Right? So food is definitely going to go up. You know, things like butter and meat are already in a sort of shortage mode. So certain staples are going to go up a lot. So if you wanted a steak and a stick of butter in Manhattan, that could be $50 US. Okay. So there's going to be inflation at the consumer level. Now, in terms of like home prices, right? Like, you know, Jeff Bezos bought a luxury bachelor pad in California 3 weeks before this happened, and he paid $165 million. Okay, I'm guessing if he went to turn around and sell it, he's not going to get $165 million. So there's going to be, the air is going to come out of all of this hyperinflated real estate. So in that respect, it's deflationary, right? So at the consumer level, it's going to hurt, right? And that's because of supply chain disruptions. Now, the money printing is really just going to keep the system from totally collapsing. So unless this goes on for more than 2 years, I don't see it being hyperinflationary, because the government is not putting the money in the hands of the people. It's using it to save corporations. So inflation at the consumer level, deflation in terms of assets. You know, so this is another reason why people may wind up turning to crypto, because it's not, for crypto to work, we don't need the dollar to have a downfall. We don't. Everyone thinks that. Everyone's like, oh, the Bitcoin guys, yeah, they all want it to go up so they can all cash in the dollars and go shopping. Not necessarily. People may just say, okay, well, I can't get enough dollars to pay for a steak and a stick of butter. So a better currency might be to be invested in Bitcoin. So when steak and a stick of butter goes up, so does the value of my currency. So consumer inflation, asset deflation, or stagflation is how I like to call it. Right?
Yeah.
Slow growth with rising prices that can hurt the common man.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Okay. All right, so I think Bill probably has to start heading out. Any last words you wanna share with us, Bill? Any last words of wisdom?
Well, sometime between now and May 10th is going to be the big moment in crypto. So I know it's very difficult. I know you mentioned being cooped up in your house. If you need to eat a chocolate bar to stay sane, eat the chocolate bar. Stay sane. You know, walk around the block. Do whatever you have to do so your head's clear for early May. That's it.
Well said. Well said. All right. Thank you, Bill. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Take care, Bill. All righty. Time to switch up the segment.
We just landed
On the moon in the Lambo. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. How are you? Wow, we have quite the active stream today. Lots of people, and thank you all for the chats. All right, and the donations and tips. So, gonna see how long we go. Let me know how the audio is. Audio should be better. I've moved the mic closer. Here to answer any questions you may have about crypto. So let's take a look at the chats here real quick. My favorite part of the segment. Thank you, Soifre. Merci beaucoup, mon ami. All right, nice show today. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm gonna try to avoid answering so many coin-related questions because those questions can go on and on forever. But maybe we can just kind of talk about the big picture, right? The big picture crypto questions, how to make money, because all the coin related questions can basically be answered on Token Metrics. Because as I say that, everybody's posting about their token. Come on, guys. Okay, I mean, so let me just pull up here what we've covered today for Token Metrics. I mean, so if you're not subscribed to Token Metrics, you are missing out on a lot of stuff. So let me just share with you. Actually, yeah, maybe I can read the testimonial somebody just shared with us because it was actually pretty good. So just give me 1 second here to pull it up. Okay, this is from, actually, this person is also on the Token Metrics. Actually, yeah, hold on. Let me just pull this up. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if anybody else has any success, any winning trades or investments you've had with Token Metrics where you've made money, we want to hear about it. So definitely do reach out to our team via the chat on the website. Share your story with us. We want to have a lot more of these stories. Now, before I start, just give me 1 second. All right, so before we start, just want to preface by saying this is just one person's individual experience. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Results may vary amongst everybody. This is just one select sample. We have several customers on Token Metrics. All right, and then this person also was a winner. He was very early in Token Metrics, so he got the hodler plan. He was, I think, part of the first early ones who got it for free. So just want to put that out there. But he has had a great experience with it. Okay, so this person's name is Harvey. And I'll just read his testimonial from the phone that he sent us. He said, I've been a Token Metrics member since December 2019. I was very lucky to have been a follower of Ian Bellina for over 2 years, so was well aware of his excellent investment track record, open, honest, and transparent values, as well as his ability to spot incredible life-changing investment opportunities. Thank you for the kind words, Harvey. I definitely appreciate that. Okay, he goes on to say, so when he decided to create Token Metrics, a platform which would use AI and machine learning techniques to predict short and long-term price movements in cryptocurrencies, it was a no-brainer for me to become a member of the platform. I also have a background in data analytics, so I could instantly see the value proposition being offered by the platform's data-driven approach to investing that perhaps the average person wouldn't. I have already made 2 very profitable trades this year as a direct result of using the short-term metrics on this platform. The first came in January when the Token Metrics newsletter predicted that a Monero breakout was imminent, resulting in a 50% profit over a 4-week period, more accurately 35 days. And the second was more recently on April 20th, when short-term metrics were very bullish on BTC, whilst everyone in the industry was either uncertain or bearish. The latter trade is now up by more than 10%. I couldn't recommend Token Metrics enough to anyone out there, and I would also strongly suggest getting even just the basic plan if you can afford it, because the benefits provided will be life-changing. Okay, thank you so much, Harvey. And now I will chime in and say, as mentioned before, we no longer have the basic plan anymore, unfortunately. That plan, now anybody who already has the basic plan, don't worry, your plan is fine. For life, it's going to be grandfathered in, but now we've reduced the plans to just hodler, investor, and professional plan. But thank you so much for that testimonial, Harvey. If anybody else has any opinions or feedback or any winning trades or investments you've made with Token Metrics, definitely do share them with our team. We do want a lot more of those. Okay, all right. Let me check in and see how we're doing. Let's see here. Is this a Zoom call? What's happening? This is a live stream. Live stream. Okay. So just want to share with you what we've been doing with the crypto newsletter. Okay. All right. So these are the most recent newsletters we've sent out to customers. So recently we had a report on Bitcoin Bullish as we approach the halving. So to kind of give you an idea of what we send our customers, which could be you. Okay, so here's one. So this is the most recent email we sent out. This is kind of an idea of what you're getting. So TA breakdown, and also just our thoughts on the market and what's happening. And then we also do have very thorough, in-depth reports. So this is one we did recently, fundamental report on CeeLo Gold. So our team really spent time doing thorough research on this. So we're going through everything. So this is kind of like what's on the website, but more in-depth and more thorough. So this is an upcoming auction on CoinList, but we're going through and providing fundamentals. And then we also do have technical reports as well that we send to our customers. Just to give you an idea of what's in the pipeline, we have reports coming up for Kyber, for Helium, for Origin, for Ava Labs, also technical reports as well. So this is just purely for customers. So definitely be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet done so already. All right, so what questions do you have for me? Let's get the party cracking. Is Token Metrics your project? Yes, I am the founder of Token Metrics, founder and CEO. But stay tuned. We do have lots of interesting news and things we're working on. Right now, we're working on creating indices and indexes because that's something people have been asking for to make Token Metrics a lot easier to use. It's going to take some time, but don't sweat it. We are working on it. We are creating, actually, we do have a mini prototype. Nothing too fancy yet. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. So this comes from our data scientist. Just to kind of show you, we're trying to take crypto to the moon. So let me get so this is available right now as raw data in our API. But I think this is what's really going to take Token Metrics and all our customers to the moon and beyond. Because this is us getting closer to building the robo-advisor. Not quite there yet, still a long way from there. Definitely things with the pandemic have been a hindrance, but just to kind of show you what we're looking at. Okay, so let me share my screen real quick. Sorry, I have to keep on hopping back and forth. We've been having issues with OBS, and I was trying to switch over to Streamlabs, and that didn't really help. So for now, we're just using Zoom because Zoom, not the best, but it works. So this is a monthly index we've made so far. So the index began at 100, and basically at 100. In less than a week, it's already up to 114. This is a monthly overall index for the overall grade. So we have different tokens here. So the idea is to create a top 10 index based on the ratings on Token Metrics. And then we'll make this available via a graph and plot this. Right now, this is just the raw JSON data. So if we take a token, for example, this is Bitcoin, I believe. So the idea is this is a monthly index, so this will rebalance every single month, and we'll log all the trades we make. So all the buy, every time we buy, every time we sell a cryptocurrency, that will be logged and made available. So that the entire premise is, if you go to tokenmetrics.com and go to our ratings, so for example, if we go here, so right now we have short-term ratings. So imagine having the top 10 and then having an index that does all the trading for you. So it tells you exactly what trades to make, what to buy, what to sell. So for example, with the monthly, it would rebalance each month. So every 30 days, it would tell you what changes it has made in the index. If it has bought more Ethereum, it will tell you exactly how much more Ethereum it's bought percentage-wise. And it would also tell you if it's sold. Let's say Binance drops out of the top 10 and Matic Network hops into the top 10, will tell you we've sold X amount of Binance on this particular date. And then it will tell you we've bought X amount of Matic Network on this particular date. So this is what we're working on. Wanted to just kind of show you the API to show that we have made some progress. We've made indexes for the overall grade, for the fundamentals, for technology, for TA, for short-term and long-term. So all in all, I think we're going to have almost 32 indices. So, I mean, this is going to be huge. So no matter what kind of investor you are, whether you're a long-term investor who wants to focus purely on the overall grade, whether you're short-term who wants to focus purely on overall grade, or whether you want to focus purely on TA, we'll have an index just for TA, short-term or long-term. So we're catering to all kinds of investors. This should be big. Stay tuned. More information is coming, but this we think is the feature most people have been asking for. Now, we won't have direct abilities to trade for you. That's still not there yet. We're still not getting closer to creating the robo-advisor. However, we can maybe just have all the trades the index is making and link to the exchanges for you to automatically go there and make the same trade if you like to. So, I mean, let me know what you think. Do you think that this is a good feature? Do you think it's something you guys would use? Let me know. I am a hodler, but I want some action. It is getting a bit boring. I will try Token Metrics. That's great, Lena. That's great. Thoughts on Blockstack? We're very bullish on Blockstack. So from a long-term perspective, very, very bullish. I've mentioned that before. And it's also has a good rating on Token Metrics. Okay, all right. Let me see if we can take some more questions here from the forum. All right, so okay, so this question from the forum says leverage, bull run, and shitcoins. Okay, this comes from Zach AD, Crypto Moon. Hello, I have 3 questions for you. 1, do you think crypto users / fans should boycott leverage platforms? I think it's one of the biggest issues facing the bull run because these platforms try always to liquidate open trades. 2, what do you think about VeChain? Jim Breyer, CEO and founder of investment and venture firm Breyer Capital, has removed Ethereum from his investment portfolio. and still has VeChain. Crazy move? No. 3, what do you think about Zilliqa? Staking is scheduled for Q2. All right, so we have 3 questions in there. I'm going to try to answer them one by one. All right, so first question, you're talking about leverage trading. Should we boycott them? I mean, it's hard to speak for everybody, but me, myself personally, I don't use leverage trading exchanges. Most traders lose money, and leverage trading is a fast way to get wrecked and lose money. Even for advanced investors and traders. We've heard about Adaptive Capital, an institutional fund, a crypto hedge fund that capitulated, got wrecked, and had to shut down and return money to investors. These are professionals losing money due to leverage trading on BitMEX and other exchanges. So imagine what the retail investor or trader will have to deal with. So I don't really believe in leverage trading. We think there are other ways to make money in crypto without having to use leverage. Now, I do have some people in my network, friends, people I know who do use leverage trading. I know, for example, Peter with All Things TA, he does some leverage trading, but he's very particular with how he does it, and he's not putting so much leverage on it. It's different for everybody, but I think in general, you can make money without having to use leverage, because leverage just amplifies your trading strategies. So if you're a good trader, it could possibly be good, but if you're a bad trader and you add leverage to that, you'll lose your money a lot faster. So I definitely myself do not use leverage. I have tried it leverage in the past, margin trading, and I didn't really like it because I've lost money even when I'm right, because you can be correct and still get wrecked with leverage trading. But if you're just a long-term investor, you hodl, you find the right investment, you pick that, you hold, you won't get wiped out just because the market has a flash crash or whatever, right? So that's my take on leverage trading. The next part about VeChain and Ethereum, I do know Brea Capital. I did speak with somebody in the team a while back because they were equity investors, and I believe they're on the board of KuCoin. So when I was working with KuCoin as a global ambassador, as a global tight-end ambassador, I did have a chance to speak with that company. Now we're bullish on Ethereum long term. So I mean, I'm not sure why they sold Ethereum. Maybe they have their own reasons, maybe for liquidity or what have you. Maybe they're just taking profits and they think it's gonna go down before bouncing back up. But long term, we're bullish on Ethereum. Also bullish on Ethereum short term as we approach Ethereum 2.0 and the Bitcoin halving. So can't really speak for their moves or trades. Zilliqa, we are bullish on. Now, short term. So if we go to short term ratings once again, that's 30 days or less. Zilliqa is number 3 on the Token Metrics rank. So number 3, meaning that if you're going to make a trade in the next 30 days, outside of making Ethereum, our next pick would be this, right? Very, very bullish on this. Long term, also pretty bullish on it. But for long-term tradings, you have to go to the site to check that out. But short-term, very, very bullish. So all in all, I mean, Zilliqa has been making moves. Now, we don't think it's going to replace Ethereum anytime soon, but as a hedge to Ethereum and as a alternative, it's definitely a good option. All right, how are we doing here? Hey, any advice on altcoins to buy? Yes, go to tokenmetrics.com. And I just showed you our short-term picks for trades. Now, if you want long-term, if you want 12 months or longer time frame, just go to tokenmetrics.com. What about Hex? We already covered Hex in the beginning of the live stream, so go back, rewind to see that. Please tell us about MetaHash. Well, MetaHash hasn't really fared well in this market, unfortunately. Now, I was an investor and advisor to MetaHash. It did well briefly, but it hasn't really bounced back in the alt bear market. While other alts have been performing well, but the team has still been building, and they do have some news coming out. I would definitely recommend you follow their social media. So on Telegram, on Twitter as well. What about Fetch? Our team was not so bullish on Fetch. I don't think we have it in our, yes, we don't have it on Token Metrics, but it hasn't really performed well. Okay, let me see what other questions we have to answer here. David Icke. Oh man. Conspiracy theories. Oh man, oh man. Okay, so let's talk about this because I do have very strong opinions on this. All right, so David Icke on London Real. This comes from Sherelle, crypto hodler. Did anyone watch David Icke on London Real? He said the top 1% wants a cashless economy. Would that mean crypto is the future? What are your thoughts? So Harvey says, possibly, but at the moment, there aren't many cryptocurrencies out there that are operating efficiently as a peer-to-peer cash currency system. So it's still a little too early to tell if a cashless economy will result in a positive future for cryptocurrencies as a whole. M. Hado says, I feel like once the US goes all digital like China is starting to, many people will find it easier to transition to Bitcoin and other cryptos, especially once they find out they have more freedom from surveillance and more anonymity. Sirunk says, crypto is definitely the future because of coronavirus. It makes sense to not carry cash because cash can transmit virus. Future would be cashless economy and future kids wouldn't be happy to carry cash. Bitcoin is the best asset and will stay as best asset for the future. Okay, so first of all, yes, I have watched the interview by David Icke on London Real. I am subscribed to London Real. I do watch some shows they have on there, videos they have on there. Now, I'll say I'm not really pro David Icke. I'm really anti-conspiracy theorists. Now, I think they're delusional. I think it's not really grounded in anything that we would consider logic, reason, or data-driven. Now, this is coming from somebody who used to believe in conspiracy theories back in high school. Like even one of my independent research projects was on the New World Order Bilderberg groups and how was the end days and all that stuff. But I mean, I grew up, I matured, became an adult. I learned logic and reason, developed that over time. And really, all the conspiracy theorists and their predictions don't really end up being true, right? They have faulty logic. Now, that's not to say there isn't some truth in what they say with some things. There definitely is some truth, right? The world is not black and white. There's nuance in the world. There are intricate details, right? And the best way to think of it is like this. Let me see how to phrase this. There's definitely research to take a data-driven approach. Over 50% of Americans believe in conspiracy theories. That we know to be true. Okay, so believing in a conspiracy theory does not necessarily make anybody crazy. If anything, that's normal, right? Believing in, at minimum, one conspiracy theory is fine. It's cool. It's kosher. However, when somebody believes in numerous and tons of conspiracy theories, and they still believe in them despite being provided new evidence or data, basically showing that that's not true, that's when we're getting closer to the realm of delusion. And there's actually a personality disorder that kind of falls in alignment with this. Obviously, I'm no clinical psychologist, but just take this with a grain of salt. But it's something called schizotypy. Not to be confused with schizophrenia, but schizotypy is kind of believing in magical things. And I think some people might fall in this category. Obviously, I'm no professional psychologist, so take it with a grain of salt. Actually, take it with a huge pile of salt. But what I'm getting at is it's okay to believe in one conspiracy theory, for example, especially if it's grounded on something that's already happened. So, for example, if you believe that the CIA is spying on people, that's not really out of the norm because we already have evidence showing us that. We had Edward Snowden, right, with the NSA and all that. So that's not really that bad of a deal. Or if you believe even in vaccines, let's say you're anti-vaccines and you believe in that mandatory vaccines are not good. That's not that crazy, because we have examples of that, like what happened with the Tuskegee experiment in the 1930s, I believe. I think all the way to 1970s, where basically minorities or Black people were being vaccinated and experimented on, basically used as guinea pigs. And we have concrete evidence of this happening across different parts of the world, where people have used vaccines, evil people have used vaccines as a way to experiment on people as guinea pigs. So believing in that is not too far-fetched. But the issue is when people get one conspiracy theory and pile on a second one and a third one and a fourth one, and they pile on so many theories together, and then they believe that all of those are true. I mean, from a statistical perspective and from a logical perspective, that falls. That's a house of cards. Because if you take one conspiracy theory that has a 1% chance of happening, and you add on a second conspiracy theory that also has a 1% chance of happening. So for anybody out there who did not take a stats class, 1% times 1%, let me just do the math for you, just to, it does not equate to 1%. It's actually 1% of 1%. So to put it one way, if you take two independent events that both have a probability of happening of 1 out of 100. So if one event, let's say you take the vaccine conspiracy theory, the vaccine theory that has a 1 out of 100 chance of happening, and you take another theory that Bill Gates is trying to have population control, and that also has 1 out of 100 chance of happening, and you put them together into one theory, that one theory combined has the chance of it happening is 1 out of 1,000. Okay, so 1% of 1%. Then if you add a third theory on top of that, that's 1% of 1% of 1%. Okay, so when you add all these different conspiracy theories together, the chances of them happening in this exact specific way is almost close to 0. Okay, so that's why I don't really believe in them. Now, I'm not saying evil people don't exist in the world. No, I'm not saying that. Actually, they do exist. That we know from data. So if we define evil maybe as psychopaths, right? So whether psychopaths or sociopaths, whatever term you want to use, we know that anywhere from 1 to maybe as high as 4% of the general population has psychopaths or sociopaths. People that lack empathy, people that will lie, manipulate, cheat, and steal to achieve whatever goals they want to achieve. People that don't really think about other people, they have superficial charm. So, and some of these people can gravitate and achieve positions of power across the world, whether they end up becoming presidents, dictators, or end up going into places of power. Yes, that does happen. That I do believe. Okay. However, the issue I have is the way people claim all these conspiracy theories will happen. And then if you go through and break them down point by point, and you see that a lot of them don't happen, people don't go back and reevaluate the theory. They still hold on to holding the theory, which is the issue I have with his theories. So, and that's the issue I have with David Icke. I mean, I don't frankly believe in lizard people. Okay. I mean, the chances of that happening, the probability of that happening is very, very low. Now, I'm not saying there are no evil people out there trying to do harm on the world. No, I mean, that I do think there are evil people out there trying to harm the world, but I'm not going to believe without any evidence that lizard people do exist, right? A friend of mine says that anything that's claimed without evidence can be also dismissed without evidence. And I think that's true. I think that's true. And best way to say it is,
it's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
Shut up and take my money.
I mean, because these people are trying to take money because they're in the business of taking money. So even if what they say does not end up being true, they have a confirmation bias and they have selective memory. So when 10 things, when they make 10 predictions and 80% of them are wrong, they only talk about the 2% that were right. I mean, the 20% that ended up being right, the 2 out of 10 that were right. So that's the error we have.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
Yep, it happens all the time. So that's my take on it. But anyway, don't want to ramble too much on conspiracy theories. All right, back to the comments here. Adrenochrome is real? No, it's not. If it's real, then we just need actual scientific proof. I mean, if somebody can prove to me a conspiracy theory using the scientific method, not some fake news article or some quack doctor, but actual scientific methodology, then we can talk. Okay, how about Satoshi? What about Satoshi? Not sure I understand what that's about. Thoughts on BiDAO or BiDAO? We already have a video on our Token Metrics channel talking about BiDAO and BiDAO, so definitely go check that out. Okay, what other questions do you have? People are laughing. Vitamin D brand has, I think, a LOL. Dent has crazy gain opportunities. We looked at that a while back. We're not so bullish on Dent. Let me see if, I don't even think we have it in the system. Yes, we don't have it in the system. We do not. Okay. Good points on conspiracy theorists. Dude is former soccer player and believes in reptilians theory. I mean, first of all, I mean, I'm sorry to go in on this. This is kind of off topic. Actually, what about Cartesi? Yes, so we do have Cartesi coming up. Actually, Cartesi, if you're a customer to Cartesi, I mean, to Token Metrics, we already have Cartesi in the system. So if you have the investor plan and higher, we have the fundamental review done, and now we're doing the technology review. And then we'll do a in-depth report on that as well. So definitely check that out. What about Chainlink? Well, Chainlink we've had in the system all that for a while. So short term for Chainlink, TA is good. TA is good for Chainlink. TA says very bullish. So if we look at purely just TA, Chainlink is number 6 purely based on TA. I mean, 16th on the Token Metrics rank. But there are other short-term trades that we believe in better. So our top trades for anybody looking to make a short-term trade: Maker, Ethereum, Zilliqa, Holochain, and Icon. Those are top 5. But that's purely looking at TA score. So for people looking to go in and out in less than 30 days. But if we look purely at overall grade for short-term, it's actually about the same as well, because the short-term grades at the moment are heavily influenced by TA. Elrond. Elrond, I think, let me take a look at if we have Elrond in the system. Yes, Elrond is in the system. Actually, let me send this to somebody. Just give me 1 second. So Elrond is in the system, so do take a look at that. Okay. All right. What other questions do you have for me? Keeping Dero out of your mouth. Okay, I see you, Ian. Keep accumulating, fam. Not accumulating Dero, not by any means. Ontology long-term. If you want long-term grades, you have to subscribe to Token Metrics. Unfortunately, we cannot give everything away. I mean, we do try to give as much as we can, but not everything. We are a business. What about Nano? So let me just share my screen so everybody can take a look here. Okay, Nano. Okay, TA is very bullish on Nano, but technology and fundamentals not good. This is short term, 30 days or less. For Ontology short term, So basically, right now, Token Metrics is very, very bullish on lots of alts short term, as you can see here. Very, very bullish. We're getting into a bullish uptrend. Okay, and then going back to questions, XRP. Okay, we're not really bullish on XRP. It's not really been one we're bullish on. So compared to all the others, not so bullish. So we don't think it's the best place to trade, or to trade short term. Now, we did put out a video on our channel and also from the last live stream about how somebody could use Token Metrics to trade and make money. People have already said that video has been very helpful. So definitely be sure to go to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet already, and subscribe for those who are watching this from elsewhere. We have daily videos. So you are missing out if you're not subscribed to us on here, right? So youtube.com/tokenmetrics, subscribe for daily videos. So where's the video we had here? Okay, yeah, this one here, how to make money trading with crypto with Token Metrics. So definitely be sure to check that out. All right. Okay. All right. So what other questions do you have for me? This might end up being a short live stream. Okay, Ian, is the subscription for Token Metrics for life? No, it is not. It's an annual subscription or a monthly subscription. Now, it depends on on when you join Token Metrics. But however, the discounts are for life. So once you join, whatever discount you get, that ends up being for life. And for those watching the live stream, you can get 10% off by putting in the code Crypto Family, one word, all caps, Crypto Family, capital letters, gets you 10% off. And that's lifetime. Let me put that here in the chat so you can all use that. Crypto Family. Okay, just give me 1 second here. All right, so there we go. Did I go through? Okay, seems it's not going through. I'm not sure why. Can you elaborate more on Holochain price targets? Yes, sure. So Holochain, let's take a look here. 79. So, okay, the models, yeah, Holochain models have kind of gone off course. So this one cannot really, yeah, not sure what happened here. Actually, yeah, let me send this to our data scientist, because yeah, that does not look right. Because typically it should be self-adjusting as it happens. Sorry, just give me 1 second here. Yeah, so I wouldn't really rely on the price prediction model for Holochain because it's not really matching up correctly. Let me take a look about what's going on here. Yeah, so price prediction models, that one I would not use at the moment. Okay, next question. Okay, so Token Metrics more for active trading. Thanks for the insight and info. Sure. Well, I wouldn't say it's just for trading. It's also for long-term investing. But because the long-term investing grades don't change as much, we can't show as much of that on the live streams. So that's something more reserved for the customers. But I definitely do encourage you to join the Token Metrics to have access to all that info. But typically on the live streams, because we're talking about things and the price can change a lot. So we typically focus mainly on short term. What do you think of Nebulous? Is it dead? Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much dead. I mean, as somebody who was an investor, nebulous. I got out back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, it's, I mean, I haven't looked back since. Let's take a look and see how they're doing. Okay, so yeah, grades on our token metrics are not so good. It's just okay. Fundamentals not good. Technology not very good. Technical analysis not that good. So yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, obviously nothing is ever fully dead, but yeah. Does Token Metrics have data on all alts on CoinMarketCap, even low caps? Not all alts, but we do have a good amount that we do like to. We have over 100, I would say 30 or 40, 140 different tokens. I would say most of the top 100 we have on CoinMarketCap, and we're also adding new ones, like new projects like CeeLo Gold, Cartesi, and others. And then also based on what our customers tell us to add. All right. Okay, let's see here. Next one. Kyber Network 30% pump is impressive. Is this pump and dump or fundamental value increase? Fundamentals for Kyber are good, very, very good. We think fundamentals is top 5 coin based purely on fundamentals. We'll be doing the code review by this week, so stay tuned. And then we'll also have an in-depth report on Kyber coming out as well. All right. I think that might be it. We may have to just call this a day. Okay, ADA technology is good, but short term is not appearing in our top 10 last time I checked. Let me take a look. Actually, it is, sorry. Short term ADA is 7th on our Token Metrics rank for short term trading. And the TA is very bullish on ADA, Cardano. All right, well, that's pretty much it. We're going to end on a high note. Thank you all for joining the live stream. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Subscribe to us at youtube.com/tokenmetrics for daily videos every single day. Don't miss out. And definitely join us on the other side at tokenmetrics.com. People have been requesting for a customer webinar, so may have to do that. Maybe we do it on the Bitcoin halving. How about that? Customer webinar on the halving. That could be it. Let me write it down. Maybe we even put out the alert. So if you're a customer, we're gonna have a customer only webinar, probably through Zoom, on the day of the halving. I think that would be a nice thing to do. All right, with that being said,
We just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
Thank you, everybody. Until next time, as you like to say, the moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Until next time, thank you, everybody.